legal analyst and attorney Tyler Grant, who joins us from New York. Tyler, this has been a production from start to finish, no pun intended. How do prosecutors just drop 16 felony counts against Smollett? Is this really about evidence, or are there other forces at play here?
Yeah, it's a really bizarre outcome with there being 16 felony charges against Mr. Smollett. And I kind of want to object to what his attorney went out and said. I mean, the police investigated this so rigorously, and the police commissioner came to the conclusion that it was a hoax 100%. And to object to what the way that the police were going about it and justifying their case in the press, that's not what the police do. The police formulate a case. They bring the case to prosecutors. Prosecutors bring the case to a grand jury. The grand jury decides to render an indictment, which they did 16 times. And the fact that this was dropped definitely speaks to the fact that there might be some celebrity privilege at work. It also, the police union of Chicago has also called for an investigation to the way that one of the county attorneys, Fox, handled it and recused herself from the case. And you know, it really just takes away from actual victims of hate crimes. In Chicago this weekend, actually, there was an off-duty police officer who was shot because a black man decided after a fight with some Latinos to go into a community, and the next Latino person that he saw, he was going to execute, and he executed an off-duty police officer. So the police in Chicago have a huge burden of what they're trying to do with policing hate crimes, with policing serious attacks. And when this serious attack was brought to their attention, they investigated it vigorously.
So, Tyler, this one-liner statement that we got basically is leading us to believe that there's not enough evidence. We'll never know because that's sealed. First of all, I was going to ask you why that was sealed. But, I mean, when we talk about evidence, what about the two men who testified against him?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things about it being such a publicly adjudicated trial. There was definitely going to be some evidence that the court was going to want to seal, as that tends to happen depending on how public a trial is and the outcome of it. I mean, certainly there's a lot of irregularities. I mean, keeping the 10,000 and saying that his community service somehow has allowed him to move off of culpability is utterly bizarre. The fact that two men said that they were the perpetrators of the attack and not two white guys wearing MAGA hats, I mean, that certainly cuts against Jesse Smollett's case that he was trying to make in the press today. It's full of irregularities. Obviously, the police union saying that they want an inquiry into Fox, who recused herself. Obviously, the mayor and the police commissioner going out publicly and saying that's a whitewash of justice, and the fact that a police commissioner 100% saying this was a hoax, undoubtedly, that's a very, very emphatic statement that is irregular and typical courses of criminal law. And the fact that they did that speaks to how strange and irregular this case is.
Tyler, I'm glad you touched on those reactions there. We saw the Chicago mayor, as you just mentioned, Rahm Emanuel, fiercely react to this. We've seen the Chicago police equally as outraged. Why do you think we're seeing such a strong reaction to this?
I think it's two reasons. I think first you have the fact that police in Chicago are doing real work. They're investigating real crimes. They're spending tons and tons of resources trying to catch bad guys and put them away. A crime that was alleged by Mr. Smollett, the fact that this horrendous hate crime that was violent, that was hurtful, and it drew national attention, and the fact that they spent hundreds of, who knows how much money trying to investigate and figure out who did this, and it turns out to be a joke, and they come out and say, hey, it's a joke. I mean, a grand jury found out or rendered an indictment. I mean, real things that have legal consequences, and the fact that nothing came of it and all the resources just went to nothing. I'm sure the police commissioner is insanely frustrated. I mean, like I say, John Rivera was an off-duty police officer shot in Chicago because of a hate crime. And the fact that there's not policing to be done to just try to solve real crimes like that, and they spent resources somewhere else, I would be frustrated too. I mean, it drew national publicity, and now it's a national joke. And the police of Chicago deserve better.
Tyler, is this almost an admission that there might have been evidence against Smollett, given the fact that they were not going to give him his bail back. Is that significant?
I think that might have been. I think it might have been a way to have the prosecutors be able to save face. Maybe. I mean, obviously, it means nothing. I mean, 16 counts of felony, 16 felony counts carries a not insignificant jail sentence, and $10,000 to an actor as famous as he is with Empire. I doubt it really. That might be a big weekend depending on what it is. So, it seems like not even a slap on the wrist. I think that there might have been a signal. And I know that people have been calling on Twitter today for the DOJ to get involved, and I don't think that they have jurisdiction to even get involved at all. So I think that this is the end of it, and I think the prosecutors were trying to save face a little bit, and that's why they seal the court record and are trying to, brush it under the rug in the public memory.
All right, Tyler Grant, it's been great to have you with us. Appreciate you breaking all of that down. Complicated, a very fascinating case. Not sure if we'll really know, but appreciate you being with us. Well, the British Prime Minister Theresa May has been meeting key members